Hey yo, what is up? A couple of weeks ago I made a video about the top 5 tanks in World of Tanks Frontline, and the KPZ-07RH was right there in the top 5 among the best tanks. Now this tank has been released a while ago now. It was a marathon tank, and this tank took the game by storm. This is a super popular tank, and a lot of people are doing really well in this tank now. We are riding with one of our own Asia community contributors, Lee Shwaran, and he's going to show us exactly what's happening. We are in a live oats, and he is going up the eastern side of the map. Now, right off the bat, I'll tell you straight away, I wouldn't be here in this position by myself. He's taking a huge risk here, but you know the saying goes, you know, you need to take big risks to get big rewards. So he's out here on his own and trying to spot out the enemies and try to get the early damage. But the problem with this position is when you get here early and on your own, there's no one here to back you up. You could get rushed and you could get demolished very easily. But if you happen to come here and there's no one around, this might be your great opportunity to farm the damage and get the early damage out, and straight away he gets 2 very early kills and gets to snipe this Ferdinand that's trying to avoid his hits, as well as this G-Sor 1008, and caught him on fire as well. So really good result for him for taking the big risk, but under normal circumstances I wouldn't suggest that you get into this position early in the game, especially if you are alone and without support. Now he's getting spotted out here. He's wondering where he is being spotted from. He can't really figure it out. Is he being proxy spotted? So he'll poke up to check out if there's anyone over the ridgeline here, and it looks like there's no one. So it's pretty obvious that the spot is coming up from the middle, so he'll go out and check out that position again just to be sure. And there is an ISU 152 traveling down the middle road, and there you go. The E25 is spotted, and the enemy E25 is trying to run away, but he's going to take more hits and artillery shell as well. And even though they managed to kill out the friendly ISU, but the E25, as hull down as he can get, he's trying to submarine under the water but still gets himself killed. The middle part of the map is a huge risk. Even if you're a very sneaky E25 or a light tank, it is a very high risk, high reward location, position. And here the Type 59 gold has been spotted out by our friendly tanks, and we will go to investigate from the low ground. And here is a tricky position to fight at, even if you have good gun depression. It's 9 degrees of gun depression on the KPZ-0H. Now here is a good place for you to fight. If you are fighting a Type 59 who has limited gun depression, if you have tracked him out, the best thing to do is actually go lower, take a lower ground and try to fight the Type 59, because the Type 59 has limited gun depression. If he cannot shoot at you and you can keep him tracked, you could possibly farm out all the damage and be safe yourself. You don't need to take the damage from the Type 59. If you can track him, retreat and go even lower, take the lower ground, and the Type 59 will struggle to find the gun depression, especially if he is tracked. Now he's going up the 9-0 line and hopefully able to spot for himself, but he's gonna go around and support the northern part of the map. That is the plan. So he's gonna go up to some bushes and some hull down positions to see if he can find shots on the enemy team, and it looks like there are no shots at the moment and there's no one being spotted. So he'll climb up, reverse up into the bush to see if he can spot anyone at the base. So there's no one being spotted there, but there is an IS-5 on the western side of the map which he will try to snipe out, and some other tanks in between the houses which he can't find shots on at the moment. So he will relocate and find more opportunities, and he's getting spotted here. So there is someone that's spotting him out. He can't really make out who, but there are some shots on the S1 which he will gladly take, and he is being shot from across the map, probably from the western side. So he needs to be careful here, try to find some terrain to hull down in. Looks like there is the Ferdinand who's tracked, get a free shot out of him. Of course the KPZ 07RH has 205 penetration on standard AP shells and 255 penetration on premium heat shells, and 200 damage roll. But you'll often see the KPZ 07 do low rolls. When I say low rolls, I'm talking about 180 damage is very common. 180, 190 damage on the KPZ is kind of common. It tends to low roll a lot. That is my experience. You know, it could be different for other players, but the KPZ does have a very fast firing gun. If you have it in any kind of playable configuration, you can get the reload down to about 4 seconds. This thing is 4.79 seconds stock reload time. If you have BIA, if you have more than 3-4 skill crew, you can get the reload time down to about 4 seconds, which means you don't really need to run a gun rammer if you didn't want to. Of course, this doesn't mean that it is not an advantage if you run a gun rammer, of course, but I like to play tanks, you know, without a gun rammer if they reload very quickly. Like if this tank reloads in the 4-second region, I might forgo a gun rammer and put something else that's useful instead. Maybe something to help with the gun accuracy, for example. Our friend here, Lee Shwaran, is actually running vents, and he's running the gun rammer and he's running optics. So what is missing on this tank is the vertical stabilizer. He has decided not to run the vertical stabilizer, and I will tell you why. This tank has a 0.34 dispersion with a moving dispersion of 0.14, which means if you run vents on this tank and you have BIA crew, you can get the moving dispersion down to about 0.13, and in this kind of numbers, 0.13, 0.14 dispersion, it means this tank will not really need a vertical stabilizer because it is already very low penalties that you get out of the moving dispersions. So you will see a lot of players play tanks like this with very low moving dispersions without a vertical stabilizer, so they'll run something else like an optic or something like that. Again, you could forgo the gun rammer and your reload time will still be 4.5 seconds instead of 4.11 seconds. And you could run other equipment like maybe improve your accuracy with an improved aim. The stock dispersion is 0.34, which doesn't make it bad. If you have BIA crew and if you run vents, you already get the dispersion down to 0.32. If you decide not to run gun rammer, you could easily run an improved aim and get this accuracy down to 0.30. So a lot of options you can have there with this tank. You can run so many types of equipment and get different kind of results depending on what your play style and what your preferences is. But this is the end of the game. It was a 1v3 and he manages to kill all of them, finishing off that Tiger 1 who was caught in the high ground. And just like that, a very good game for our friend Lee Schwaren, over 4,000 damage in his Kampfpanzer, and also got a Radley Walters Medal Ace Tanker. And yeah, great game for this tank. Are you gonna get this tank? Maybe it's coming up in the 11/11 sale that's going on, and maybe you can pick this up for Frontlines. It will be fantastic credit maker. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you on the next one. Bye bye.